Alright, so what's going on, guys? It's Matterz here, and we're going to be doing a video specifically, again, talking about the Revelations Easter egg ending boss battle, the boss battle arena. Obviously, this arena is on the map. It's right now under the map, pretty far below where everything is located. If you go into some sort of theater mode glitch, you can go down there and check it out. And people obviously haven't been able to do that, and that's why we have information on what this boss battle is going to be about. Now, this is Reddit post, and we're going to go through that stuff in a second, and we're going to be looking at a bunch of different stuff here, hinting at some sort of maybe systemic way you're going to be able to kill this boss. I doubt it's just going to be the only way here. I think it's going to be almost similar to Garokrobi, where you're going to have two sort of sections, maybe one easier boss, one harder boss, or maybe two bosses at the same time. We're not so sure, but again, there are some hints looking at the boss battle arena that'll give us a understanding of how we're actually going to kill and take down this boss battle. Obviously, I have no clue what the whole Easter egg ending cutscene is going to be like, and this is the end of Zombies, so it's probably going to be a lot bigger than anyone would have expected. But for the boss and maybe the multiple amounts of bosses that we see, I think we have some sort of idea of what we can expect going into this. If we can go for 500 likes, again, that'll be greatly appreciated, and let's get started. So I'm going to put an image up on screen because it makes a lot of sense as to what we're going to be seeing going into this boss battle. Now, the first one here is actually from a Reddit post talking about interactable objects on the map. And I'm going to talk about the boss battle first, because I know a lot of people were just like, oh, just get straight to the boss battle. And the last video I made, I sort of, talked about the boss battle towards the end of the video. I'm just going to go straight to the boss battle now, and I'll go through the other images later in this video. But let's start with the first one here. Again, this is the boss battle. And the thing about this is that you're able to tell what the interactable objects are on this map, and there are a lot of other interesting stuff throughout the map, but this one especially, and the one after this, is very, very interesting. They both seem to be, it's sort of hard to tell what they're actually pointing to, because this is the whole entire boss battle, and I imagine that when you're in this DLC for Revelations boss battle, you're going to be able to interact with a bunch of different locations. The interactable objects doesn't necessarily mean that you can just walk around. Like, obviously you can walk around everywhere, but it means that specific things like on the wall, specific things that you can get, and maybe it'll come out of the wall, it'll break, interactable. Like, it's not going to stay there the whole game. Something will happen to it. It'll change. You can activate. You can interact with it, basically. And if you're seeing here, I'll actually just put the two images up on screen. They're both, it seems to me, they're both pointing at like the huge sort of columns, and then you have the columns on the second photo, and then also the sort of spiked rock columns as well, as you see in the different background pictures there. And it's like, okay, let's think about this here. It could very well just be like Zetsubo, those columns, those huge columns. I think that's a very, not really common thing, but we've sort of seen that before, and I'm not so sure how that would necessarily be interactable. I think maybe the roof will collapse or something like that. So the reason why the interactable object is showing the whole image here is that the roof will collapse, and you will have to activate something for that to occur. Maybe you have to collapse the roof on a boss that actually comes down in the location of the boss battle, and after you fight that smaller boss, you collapse the roof, everything happens there. You maybe get the spikes as well. You have to kill these Marga bosses with the spikes. You have to kill this Apothicon creature with the spike. Then you move on to the bigger Apothicon. You try to kill that as well. So like, you can sort of see and sort of understand how you're going to be doing this stuff with these different objects, especially these spiked columns there. The spiked columns, they do honestly seem like weapons, and the fact that they're listed here as an interactable item or interactable object on the DLC for Revelations is sort of hinting at the fact that, yeah, this is probably going to be something to kill the boss. And think about what else would a spiked column be within the map. Like, it's not like a perk, it's not going to help you. Like, the only really thing, like some sort of interactable object, especially within a boss battle arena, most likely is going to kill the boss, and that's really it, so we'll see what the deal is. There's also a possibility that it could try to kill us as well. Maybe it's some sort of thing, if you knock into it, it'll sort of hurt you or something like that. We're not so sure, again, what the deal is, but as of now, it's seeming like it's some sort of thing to help you with the boss battle, which would be obviously pretty cool. The next one here is actually a very interesting thing. Again, I'll go back to the interactable objects around the map really quickly, but this is an image up on screen, again, from a different Reddit post. All the links are down in the description below. but you have here a bunch of images from theater mode looking at some sort of Shadows of Evil pedestal base thing, and you see you have the Pack-Punch pedestal, you have the Beast Mode pedestal, and then you have the pedestal within the DLC 4 Revelations Boss Battle Arena, and honestly, all three of them look very, very similar. They have the same sort of curve in the middle. They have the same sort of lower portion with the Aparthicon legs. They have the same sort of top. Everything is almost exactly the same. Honestly, the more I look at this now, it really is like the exact same thing. Now, you have to think here. Why is that there? What is that there? Are we getting a beast mode for the boss fight itself? Because that would be a very interesting. And again, Shadows of Evil itself especially, it didn't necessarily have a boss fight arena. I guess Shadows of Evil was like boss fight arena. Technically, you can say it was like the Shadow Man room with the Pack-Punch and all that insane stuff. Like that sort of was the boss fight arena. Although the last step for Shadows of Evil didn't really require to kill any boss. The Shadow Man was sort of like that boss within the Easter egg. So maybe, you know, Shadows of Evil, this is basically the boss fight it never had, and having these Shadows of Evil pedestals here is going to be a key part into killing this boss. Now, how we're going to kill the boss with these pedestals, I don't really know. There's a bunch of different possibilities here, and let's just take this up at face value. What if we're legit using some sort of beast mode, and we'll talk about that in a second, then we'll talk about game worms. What if we're using some sort of beast mode to actually systemically kill this boss? So you need to get into beast mode, you need to sort of shock different locations, activate different locations in the boss battle, sort of shock parts of the actual boss itself, and then get out and shoot and do all of this insane stuff. And there needs to be actual strategy. So like Garakrovi, instead of just shooting, and you know, Zetsuna Shima, instead of just shooting whenever you see something pop up, maybe you need one player within beast mode to go, and again, beast mode would only be sort of accessible within this Revelations boss battle arena, just because of the fact that, you know, it's the boss battle arena and it's a one thing. It's not really a part of Revelations, but you guys understand that. Again, get the beast mode guy to shock, and then once you shock, you can actually shoot this certain port of, let's say, the Aparthicon servant boss. Whether or not that's the boss for Revelations, who knows, but most likely it's going to be one of the bosses at least, and that would basically be how you kill one of the bosses using beast mode in that sort of really cool, crazy manner, working together with the players that are alive, or I guess, you know, not in beast mode, versus the players that are in beast mode. That would be pretty sick as well. Now, the gate worm is almost a pretty logical thing as well, and I think this could potentially play into not just like the DLC 4 Easter egg, but like an extension of the DLC 4 Easter egg, which could be the super Easter egg for Black Ops 3 Zombies, and that would, you know, trigger potentially what we think as of now the second Easter egg ending cutscene. Now, people have been saying, okay, you know what, 2 Easter egg ending cutscenes for Revelations, one with Dr. Monty's plan, one with Richthofen's, or one with Max's. Like, there's a bunch of different random stuff. We're not so sure of the definitive 2 Easter eggs. We're not even so sure if they're going to be 2 Easter eggs. Like, I think the achievements sort of hint that already. If you guys don't know, there are 2 secret achievements, and it's basically like the Mob Dead, breaking the cycle, continuing the cycle, and obviously that sort of confirms there are 2 Easter egg ending cutscenes, but we don't know if one's for DLC 4, and we don't know if one's for like a super Easter egg. So the super Easter egg evidence would basically be that, okay, you have these different gate worm pedestals, and throughout the game, if you've done the Easter eggs on all of these different maps, obviously you put your gate worm down in that location. And the final thing, well, you put your gate worm down in the different pedestals, just like within Shadows of Evil. To even start up the Pack-Punch, you have to put your gate worms down in the different locations on the different pedestals. But this is going to be a whole nother grand scheme here on a much larger scale for Revelation. So once you put your gate worms down, and then the final player, maybe Richtofen, finally puts the summoning key into this main sort of lodge or this main sort of location, and then activates something huge, it triggers a cutscene, or maybe it triggers another boss fight, and we get another boss fight besides from the main DLC 4 boss fight, and that will be the huge sort of super Easter egg boss fight, if you will, and obviously it'll trigger the last cutscene, whatever that cutscene is. Again, the specifics of this, the storyline of this, no one has just a remote clue of what that's going to be like, but we do know it is possible, and we do know based on this image here and based on the arena that it could be something very well occurring within the game. So I want to go through a bunch of other interactable objects as well. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more images. So let's put this up here. One is actually the gas within the Apothicon. I'm not so sure exactly what is interactable here. I mean, it could be hinting at the gas, but I think it's more or less looking at the wall. And this wall right here, like in the sort of gas section of the Pack-a-Punch Apothicon server, well, not the Apothicon server, but in the Apothicon boss thing. I don't know what do you do with the wall? I don't know, man. Like, do you break through that wall? Maybe a part of the Easter egg. And there have been interactable objects within Shadows of Evil that hinted at further Easter eggs and the different. If you guys remember the Donut Trip Mine Easter egg, we figured that Easter egg out because of us knowing that, you know, the actual cart was an interactable object. So we literally can figure Easter eggs out by us knowing that stuff is, you know, interactable from these images right here. So if you look at this thing here, what is interactable here? Something with the wall. You can't shoot it. You can't really do anything with it. I don't know. We'll have to see what the deal is there. Again, here's another really interesting image there. Just like the sort of general insides of the Apothicon boss. And it's not like it's pointing at like the Pack-a-Punch and all that insane stuff. Maybe the heart, potentially. Like maybe it's such a weird thing. Maybe, again, it could be hinting at the Easter egg itself, where just a theory that you go inside the Apothicon boss and you sort of kill it from inside. Basically, you start shooting and exploding and getting rid of different main parts of this Apothicon boss, and maybe that would make sense because there's so many different sort of, I guess, interactable objects within this boss that maybe those interactable objects are just like sort of weak points that you have to destroy for an Easter egg boss battle. That would be very possible, because as of now, I don't know what else you would really do and interact within this Apothicon boss. There's a lot more to this map still, obviously, we haven't discovered, but as of now, it's like, well, we all we do in there is shoot the Pack-a-Punch, and, you know, it's really nothing like major there. Maybe the heart is another thing, but again, I don't know, we'll have to see what the deal is there. It's a really interesting one. Now here's something very interesting as well. This is within the Kino room, and there's some sort of like projector, and I'm pretty sure this is the interactable object here, some sort of like projector based object. I'm not so sure. Definitely it's an old style movie theater prop or set piece or something to do with the film reels, or I don't really know what exactly it is, honestly, but it's obviously something that you can interact with, and it's like, okay, what the hell do you do with this thing? The only thing I can think of is like placing something on this little machine here, and then it'll do something and give us a reward or activate an Easter egg. Like, I have no clue, but apparently this machine here within the Kino sort of film room, whatever you want to call it, it's something that you do and something you interact with. So we're gonna have to look at that. I definitely recommend going into the map and going to these specific locations and seeing like what the hell is the deal. Obviously these parts are here interactable for a reason, but like, why? You know, why? That, who knows? So again, next one here is Shangri-La. It's like, I guess an outside portion of the map. Not so sure exactly where this is coming from. It's probably like right at the edge of a certain portion of the map, and you just see a tree and then a gatekeeper for, like, you know, like Horizon Rock or whatever. Dude, like a random gatekeeper sitting there, a statue. What's interactable here? I have no freaking clue. I think this is one of these Easter egg things where something outside the map is going to come and appear from this location. I don't know exactly what is interactable. I would maybe even think the gatekeeper statue is going to like form into a real life gatekeeper, and it'll just be like a giant gatekeeper that you have to take around. I think that's a very good possibility. Other than that, is the tree? Do you cut down trees in this game? Like, I don't really see the tree being an interactable part or anything like that. So that's a really weird thing. So again, let me know what you guys think about that. Moving on here, you have the Origins excavation site, and what the hell is it? I guess just a stone or something. Is this a stone? A weirdly shaped stone? No clue what this is. Okay, I guess again, maybe you take apart the stone, maybe you know, open it from above or something. There's something below the stone that's hiding. Maybe you need the stones for a certain thing within the Easter egg. You need to place the stone somewhere. I don't really know, but again, that's an interactable object, so gotta check it out, man. Gotta check it out. Here's another thing as well. You have the Horizon Rock MPD. Now this is really weird because like it's not necessarily there. So I'm not so sure what the deal is with that, but I guess it's the wall falling down or a certain portion of it, and yeah, we'll see what the deal is there. Again, we will see what you have to do. I'm not so sure if we're gonna mess with the MPD again for Revelations. I think it is pretty possible, honestly. We did it with, you know, obviously Zerizendrak, and obviously it did this whole thing connecting back with Groff and all. What was it, Groff? Gersh? Yeah, it was Gersh, and all this insane stuff. So, is it possible to happen again? That Zerizendrak MPD, you know, lowering, coming back up? Yeah, but I don't know. We don't really know yet, so we'll see. Second to last one here is obviously the main sort of pad on Shangri-La. This used to be a part of the Pack Punch to activate the Pack Punch on Shangri-La back in Black Ops 1, but apparently, again, this is still some sort of interactable object, and I'm not so sure if you go into Revelations right now, I'm not so sure if you stand on this, it'll drop down. If it does, and if that's the case, and then it's like, okay, what does that do? You know, what are we doing here? And this could be for an Easter egg. I think it would be interesting to have this as just a random Easter egg step to activate any other part of the map, to open up another part of the map, do this sort of Easter egg cryptic step here where all these different pads, like a pad on Zerizendrak, a pad on Shangri-La, a pad on Origins, whatever, and then once you get everything ready, then you unlock a certain area or something. Who knows? You unlock a certain key or some sort of object, or but obviously this is something that we're gonna use for something that Treyarch intended to be within the game, whether or not it's the Easter egg, some sort of side quest Easter egg, not so sure again, but it's there, man. And last one here is really interesting. I'm pretty sure the generator in the power room within Verrückt, and it's like, okay, why is this interactable? Like, there's no like real power, and it's like, okay, so what are we doing here? What are we messing with this outside part? Obviously, you can go here, but you can't really go inside that gated area, and this is a really weird. I think this definitely could be for an Easter egg. I honestly think you would power down the map for some reason, and we've done this before in some circumstances, but you would power down the map for whatever reason to get something done, to maybe defeat some sort of Apothicon boss, and it's not being fed by the Element 115, so you want to power down everything and try to, beat him without it being fed by its energy. Just an idea there. But other than that, I'm not so sure exactly what else you would do with this power just being down, I don't know, or just the power in general. Even if you're not turning the power off with this interactable object, what else would you be doing with a power panel, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense. So again, leave your theories down below in the comments below. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you're watching right now, leave a comment below. DLC 4. This is a long video, bro. Oh my god, I didn't realize it. Dude, I did not realize this was such a long video. Holy. Okay, well, thank you guys for watching. Seriously, if you're watching right now, leave a comment below on DLC 4 hype or something like that. Thank you for watching this whole video. I did not realize it was 17 minutes, bro. Oh my god. Okay, well, yeah, that's gonna be it. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys later.